So we're looking at forward rolls because you have now fallen forwards with momentum. Now you have fallen and it doesn't really matter the stimulus. You could have been punched, pushed, kicked over. You could have been escaping and running and tripped. This could happen from an aggressive situation or a benign solo situation. The problem is I am falling forward and I'm falling forward with momentum. So from here, the natural reaction when people tend to fall tends to be with their hands coming out to break their fall. Not a very good landing because I could start to damage parts along my arm here. But we're going to use this reaction and turn this into a mini break fall. But because we have too much velocity, we're going to then curl and roll to bleed out that velocity. And then obviously the roll will come up into an automatic get up here. When we're falling and rolling, all of these, for the purposes of that this could be cement, bitumen, hardwood floors, something that's very hard ground. So we're going to stay away from a lot of martial art type rolls, which are similar, but really work when it's set up all with matted ground. So this is going to be used for hard surfaces here. Okay, so for the forward roll, as I am falling forward, my hands are going to be coming out. And so what's happening is here, with my hands coming out, what I want to happen is this. Now I'll break it down to the ground here so I can explain it in more detail. Typically there may be 1 foot forward as you tend to fall. For now, even just practicing it, what we'll do is we'll put 1 foot forward. And then from here, what we're going to be doing is whatever foot is forward, that's the shoulder we're going to roll over. Because when we do this roll, we actually would like our head never to touch the ground. So this is a shoulder roll, not a head roll. And then what happens is here, as I've got this foot forward and my hands are coming out, what I want to happen, since lead foot, lead shoulder, I want to roll over the lead shoulder. The lead hand is going to come across and I'll turn this 90 degrees. So my fingers are pointing horizontally. And I actually want this here, as it hits the ground, here. These fingers and hand is opposite my rear shoulder, And having that across starts to open up my entry for my shoulder. The second hand, as it's coming here, will just have fingers facing forward and also be in front of the rear shoulder. So basically I make an inverted L shape, about opposite my rear shoulder here. Now what happens is when I'm falling, is these palms should hit first, very momentarily. Because they're acting as a mini break fall, which you'll want, especially on hard surfaces or going in fast. And from here, as I'm reaching forward here, it won't be at the ground because of the velocity of the fall. It'll be coming forward, my palms will hit the ground ever so quickly, and then the lead shoulders roll. That forearm here will fold to the ground. So I do eventually will roll over this forearm. From here then, as I'm starting to land here, I'm going to tuck my chin to my rear shoulder, like so here. This just helps to take the head out of the roll as well. And as I start to be here, 1, 2, I am now going to be going over that shoulder here. Now, one important thing here is you need a nice rounded back. So you need to actually tuck your feet in, tuck your hips in, and round out your back. The rounder your back here, once you start to enter into the roll, the much easier it is to just, with momentum, come over the top. And I'll just show you one where, here, with no momentum, no fall, I will just push with my feet just to get very little momentum, but I'm going to have a very rounded back. And you'll see how easy it is, you just roll up and over. So from here, I'll just give it a slight push here. Nice rounded back, and I just roll up, like so. So from here, to help you with your footwork at the end of the roll, and typically the more you do this, it'll become a little bit more natural. But here what happens is as I'm falling here with your back leg, if you want to get into a nice position that'll keep you nice and tucked and tight for your roll, and also flow really naturally at the end of the roll, is with the rear leg, what I want you to do is just tuck that leg behind the knee, like so. Rear leg behind the front knee. Don't think about it too much. And then from here, what happens, I can only go so slow. Here, you can see now, and I've stopped myself coming up, is this leg that was tucked, I end up rolling over that shin here. So it just flows very nicely up into here. And basically as I roll over the momentum, I just push with my hips, straighten out my leg, and I stand up here. So if this was a stimulus from behind, so maybe I pushed or kicked, maybe I was running away from an attacker, if I have started to fall here, basically what I should be doing is turning to face behind me in case that attacker has closed that distance on me here. So once you do your roll, you should be turning to face to hopefully engage. If not, you can continue running.